welcome to the show. Let's talk about this documentary, which has thrust you into a firestorm, it feels like.
Yeah. I can't check my Twitter mentions.
Right, because you have made this documentary, which is really interesting and hilarious, about Apu from The Simpsons. Some people say you've made this movie to say that Apu is only racist and it is bad and you are angry. Are you angry?
I'm 35 years old. This cartoon's been around for a while. I got other things to worry about. I mean, to be honest, you want to really know what I think of Apu?
Yeah.
The network's not going to like this, but I don't really give a
Wait, so wait, if you don't give a why did you make the story about Apu?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, because I feel like there's a gap. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of stuff that happened that wasn't covered because, like, brown people weren't allowed to talk until, like, 15 years ago. You know,
right.
We're talking about the pre-Aziz and Mindy era.
Right.
Right?
I like that pre-Aziz and Mindy era.
Yeah, PAM. And, but yeah, so we weren't allowed to talk. So there's this huge gap in who we were and what that experience is like and what it feels like when your only image is a cartoon character voiced by a white guy. So it's a white guy in brown paint, and this country has a history of that. So. Well,
when you look at the story of The Simpsons, though, there are people who say, but Hari, you can't say this about The Simpsons, though. The Simpsons offends everybody equally. Some people would argue that Homer Simpson is a stereotype of a white man who's not well educated in America, and the family and the townspeople represent stereotypes or caricatures of everyone. So why would you be offended by Apu?
Because there's a lot of different white characters, and we just had a convenience store guy voiced by a white guy with brown paint.
It really is just representation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wanted to call the film, I gotta explain this to you. It's representation. I mean, we had this one thing, and that matters, and I think a lot about post 9/11, stick with me. You know, we only had two representations, brown people in this country, whether
right.
that's South Asian, Arab, Muslim, right? We had Apu from The Simpsons, harmless convenience store character, and we had terrorists, right? And there's a huge range of humanity between those points.
Right.
And so, but that didn't exist on television media at the time, so all of a sudden there's all these hate crimes and deportations and detentions, because if you only have two places, convenience store owner, terrorist, where are you gonna go, right? Meanwhile, white guys, like middle-aged white who can shoot up Las Vegas, and no one's going after all middle-aged white guys, right? That would be an absurd thing. No one's like, oh, it's a middle-aged white guy, get him, don't shoot, it's Steve Carell. Like, that's never, that's not gonna happen.
That's an interesting idea in that the lack of representation fundamentally shapes how people see the world around them. So when looking at this character, Apu, there are people who say, and I've seen, funny enough, on your Twitter, I've seen online, people who are South Asian saying, no, man, why are you doing this? I enjoy Apu. He's my dude. I laugh at this.
Well,
why is it such a bad thing?
I enjoy Apu. I think Apu's a really funny character, but just because something's funny doesn't make it right. In fact, if something is wrong, the fact it's funny makes it easier to push it forward. That's how any kind of propaganda works. That's how anything that is good art that has a messed up message works, right? So for me, it's like if we had a bunch of other characters at that time, then Apu would have been fine. It was just one of many characters, but that's all we had. And when you can shape, I don't know if you know this, but there's like, you know, a billion of us.
Wait, like here?
No, my God.
Oh,
if there was a billion of us here, I'd have a show right now.